I gave him the log a while ago. There we are. We are live, everybody. Welcome to another session of the Dark Thorns with our Pathfinder 2nd Edition campaign. Last week's episode will be up sometime this evening. It is uploading as we play because me and Arwina are moving, so I haven't had the time to do that sort of thing. Right. The Night Hedges had themselves a pretty interesting session last weekend, so we are going to go straight into the recap, starting with Preacher.
Why, thank you very much. We were basically tasked to head out a little bit and then do a little bit of advanced scouting in front of all the army behind us because of our elite status. And we came upon basically a choice. Do we want to go take on that guy or do we want to go take on these guys? Never mind the necromantic dude who's raising a whole graveyard. We're not going to do that. No, we're just going to tell the guys behind us that this guy exists. Instead, we're going to go for an arch enemy of one of our characters, Estrella. That turned out to be sweaty as all hell, as Magnus can attest.
Yep, marched onto the field, spread out, did our best to go and get the sub-archon, and yeah, we didn't quite manage to catch him, but we took a hell of a lot of damage trying, and dismissed all the giants and the summoned demons. Slightly before that, Marisol and Estrella managed to have a long delayed chat about Magnus and Estrella's background, where they agreed to stop avoiding each other and actually start cooperating. And speaking of our fearless leader, Marisol.
Yeah, so I kind of listened to Estrella on what we were supposed to do last time, so here we are. She is currently held in shackles after she was brain dominated, I think, by that Archon. And we kind of did not want her to follow her new master for some weird reason. It took a lot out of us. We're still standing. He got away, unfortunately. But yeah, we're all alive. Or what, Master Yodi?
Yeah, last week was kind of the session of Yodi did nothing. I whiffed all of my level 4 spells. Kind of just hung out and watched everybody do battle. It was a good time. The giants were pretty scary. Things got a little rocky there near the end, but we pulled it off. And Homeboy just kind of teleported away, so we'll be seeing him again. I'm sure of it. And I will send it over to Zara.
Yeah, it was a pretty sweaty fight. Lots of big nasties in that one. It was like a pair of fire giants, a pair of barb demons, a drowning demon, and the big spellcaster himself. So it could have very quickly gone poorly if we rolled any worse than we managed to. Luckily, Shoggoth's dice were also betraying him, because those fire giants were like chunking out people's whole health bars in one round. So it was spicy. And now we have to figure out how we're going to get back to where we're supposed to be and see if this guy pops up later or how that's going to affect everything. Mador?
Yeah, I think this is one of the first time Mador didn't even get into the coastline. I just kept on plucking at the wizard with my crossbow. Got a couple crits on him too, but otherwise, most of it was done by I know Preacher's been actually. I think Preacher actually yanked one of the fire giants off the ground. I was interested to see what happened, and what's the consequences going to be since we left the flank. Otherwise, nope, normal fighting. Getting better with a crossbow. head over to Preacher.
Already gone. Zara.
Adamir then.
Yeah. We tried to get the jump on him, tried to stealth up, but it's kind of hard to hide a 8-foot tall wolf. Things went downhill from there. Zara.
I think that means we've all gone.
I do believe that you have all gone. Yes, that seems correct. So you've cleared the site. Not much left from the camp. Although I will need an Arcana roll from the one with the highest Arcana in the party. I assume that is EOD.
Likely.
Yeah, you do find a broken piece of looks like maybe a 10-inch by 5-inch gold tile that's broken in two, inscribed with a lot of magical glyphs that EOD recognizes as a teleport contingency. So the enemy may have gotten away from you, but you did manage to take away his escape ability there. He's not going to be able to do that trick twice.
Iodi, is it possible to tell where the teleport went to? Can you track him down on the magical waves?
I doubt it. Is that a thing I can do, Shaggy?
If you had the correct spell, but it's not something you can do with only Arcana.
Iodi does not know where this goes. I'm sure that he will find us soon enough.
So then we should probably get back to scouting for the caravan, right?
Yeah, we're pretty far, of course, now. We should definitely get back.
Right. So give us a perception check from the one with the highest perception from you guys. That's
I have 16. Does anybody beat that?
Nope.
There we are. So yeah, leaving, heading back, you can see. Actually, give us a nature roll as well, Edamir. Yeah, the weather is getting worse. It's clouding over with clouds thick enough that even in the middle of the day, it's almost like twilight. And you can see the weather phenomenon is concentrated over where Estrella scouts reported that there was a dig site.
It would appear that something's going down over in that direction.
Let's go there now.
Are we sure we don't want to check on the caravan? Or is it in the same direction?
Well, the caravan will be bypassing it, or the train, with all the soldiers. We'll be bypassing it, but pretty closely.
We should probably at least scout it then to make sure that nothing's going to try to come from it and ambush the caravan.
Yeah.
Nature phenomenons usually include magic, so
Yeah, this doesn't look like normal weather, does it?
for this region, isn't it? The mountain storms might come quite quickly, but not around here.
And that's not a storm. That's something else.
It looks like a mark of
I'm gonna
influence.
place Estrella in front of me and saddle, still bound, making sure I've taken all her lockpicks.
Let us give me a moment to do a roll here. Give us a perception roll.
To who?
To Marisol. Yeah. As you check again for lockpicks for Estrella, you're surprised to find straw sticking out of the sleeves.
Oh, for a string of profanities from definite languages that Marisol probably doesn't speak, but she has picked up somewhere, come out, and she pushes over the straw puppet, and god damn it, we need to find her as well.
Well, at least she'll be acting normal. That's what I, edited her memory to Commander to do.
Aye, but you didn't relieve the control from the sub-archon.
Yeah, I can't do that, but she can do that if he tries the Commander again.
So yeah, the Estrella-shaped scarecrow falls to the ground as you ride on. It takes you more than 2 hours to get back to where you veered off to go hunting for the Archon. Once you get there, you see the two companies you've been working with, the guerrillas and the bulls, have set up or have a preliminary camp. There's a lot of wounded, and some people you're pretty certain aren't just wounded.
Did something happen while we were gone?
Obviously.
One of the a large balding man in his 50s in worn brigandine armor comes up and like, "What the hell have you been? We went in to scout out the mist, but it's full of undead. We've been beaten back several times. I think they've captured both the captain of the bulls and the captain of the guerrillas."
Well, that's where you messed up. You're not supposed to be going in anywhere without, the scouts telling you to.
We are the scouts, you fox asshole. Wait, you were supposed to be our support. What the hell were you?
We were chasing a sub-Archon.
We went after the Archon.
What fucking Archon?
One of their leaders passed by. And we
Well,
thought it'd be an ample opportunity to take him out before he joined the fray.
One of the undead leaders? Well, I hope you got him, because we're taking pretty massive casualties here, and well, they're on alert now. We had a drop on them at the start, and if you'd been there, that would have swung the fight, but I think they've managed to summon more reinforcements in now.
Well, there's only one thing to do. Let's go check it out. I'm gonna
Or
go.
we wait for the main battalion
No.
and we storm it.
We don't have the time for that.
I'm gonna look for the tracks of the captains using my magical mystical ability.
Well, you can see it. You can see it heading in. Heading into the brain. It's a copse of trees. Again, not thick forest, but plenty of it. And you can see the magical mist that the scouts reported on as well, going into it.
I think it would be best if I took the lead, since mist doesn't bother my eyes.
Feel free. I'll follow you.
Okay. So, MDMA. Nope, can't sing that song. Not on stream. Give us a stealth and a perception, Edamir. Well, as you're following the tracks towards whatever it is, you can feel the temperature dropping significantly the closer you get. You also see like little bird skulls clattering their beaks at you, and pretty much anything that's not completely decomposed in the forest is trying to reanimate. The necromantic energy is so thick in the air that Eodi and Preacher can actually see some of the dark purple necromantic energy pooling like a heavy gas or fog on the forest floor and in any holes you pass by. As you get closer, you can also hear digging, as well as somebody chanting something unpleasant. We are going to put up a map.
Roaring shrunk.
Yeah, the language is mighty unpleasant. Huh? What was that? To the ears. But through the copse of trees, you can see that you're coming in from on top of a small hill, it seems. At least some of you can see parts of tents and a camp set up.
Could I get Rowan's size changed, please?
Yes, you can. Did we actually make that happen? Or, yeah. Rowan is now a big boy. Let's make that somewhat bigger. There we are. He's a big wolf. Size of a small warhorse currently.
Think it'd be bigger than a warhorse?
Depends on the warhorse. So yeah, it's pretty much up to you. You can hear sort of like agonized screaming from a slightly female voice that sounds like it's not entirely of this world.
Can anybody see what's going on? I'm a little bit too short.
I'm gonna try to sneak closer to find a good place to snipe from and take a look at what's going on.
I would also like to sneak up to this it looks like a cliff ledge from what I can see, and
Right.
like
give us a little sneakeroonie roll there.
I
Zara.
did. It's a 35.
Okay, and I'm gonna need a sneak and where you want to go from everybody else as well. Let's see. Zara needs to move up there. and she'll be able to see something. So who else was sneaking up?
Me.
Me.
I'm gonna do the same.
Roaring.
I need you to move yourself, Marisol. Okay. So, yeah, what you can see over on the other side of the camp. Wish I could give Tulmar full view since he's streaming this. Okay. Now Fancy Grounds is being all wonky. Right, that's all the moves you get for now. It's a huge monster sewn together by different body parts, standing guard with its back to you. In addition, let's see. Does anybody have line of sight on that? Yeah, Sarah can clearly see another of the now magically enlarged fallen knights that have been awakened. This one looks like it's been it's a knight from some sort of different order. You're not entirely certain which order that would be. In addition, you see an elderly, very sickly-looking man, in obviously a wizard, gathering energies and singing. And next to him, there's a much more spry zombie than you've ever seen before, standing guard over Walter and Katarine. And seems to be trying to have a friendly chat with them. Let's see, Marisol. In front of you, you also see 4 hobgoblin skeletons working on a dig pit, and hanging over that dig pit, but bound by magical chains, is an ethereal elven woman clad in the very solid plate armor of a style you've never seen before. Except sometimes in paintings from the Second Empire. There's also a huge pile of skulls around 20 feet in front of you. And as Preacher comes up, you can see the cadaverous rake standing guard over everybody else. Turn and look straight up at Preacher and kind of hold its sword up in a salute before it points at the Preacher and shouts, "Allez!"
Yeah, damn it.
And with that, we are going straight into combat. So the Grave Knight, this one you can see has fire dripping from its weapon, turns and fires an arrow at Preacher with its longbow. Boom, 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 boom. That's gonna hurt. So that is 45 damage. 9 of it fire damage.
Yeah. Yep.
In front of Marisol, all of the skulls rise up into the air, kind of clattering and screaming.
That's unnerving.
And that takes us to Preacher.
Holy hell. There is something behind the Grave Knight.
That looks like it's a... give us a moment and I'll find an image for you. It's a mummy of some sort. You've fought these things before. The black bog mummy type beasties that look like the ones in all Swedish bogs, pretty much.
Very nice. Okay. Well, I'll start my stance. One action, and let's see how long I can get. Yeah, that's only one move action. I'll go there.
Yum.
And I should have 2 actions.
What's the Grey Knight? He gets an attack of opportunity with his great sword. And that he actually misses.
Didn't he hold a bow?
That is entirely true. So it's a good thing he missed, because otherwise Preacher would have taken damage he shouldn't have.
Let's see now. 1, 2. I only have 1, so Flurry of Blows. Let me see now.
Flurry of Blows. Da. Is good.
Oh, that one.
Oh my me. That is not super good, is it? Some may even say it is super bad. Boom, 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 boom. Give me a moment. Bog Mummy's the middle of 2. Where's he right? Seems like it was standing guard. So yeah, Preacher actually knocks his own ass prone. Trying a bit too fancy flurry. And that takes us to Elamir.
I'm going to step there.
Very well.
Fire a lightning bolt, hitting those 4 guys.
1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, of course, the Skull Swarm. Yeah, go for the lightning bolts.
Should just be a reflex save, I believe. Let me check.
I believe so, sir.
Yeah, 26 basic reflex save.
Yeah, roll your damage. Ooh. The Skull Swarm seems entirely unaffected by the attack. Let me find a Bog Mummy here. So many enemies, so little time. I'm gonna need to expand my combat tracker ever so slightly. You can see those Bog Mummies are looking pretty tired. They've taken not the Bog Mummy, but the Hobgoblin skeleton. My bad. I'm just being a dumbass. The Hobgoblin skeleton just shatters into pieces, having been hit by that lightning bolt. The Necromancer, he seems to be taking some. He seems to take some damage, and then you can see the Flesh Golem. It's got several spikes and nails sticking out of it, and they seem to just absorb all of the electricity, and it now seems like it is moving much faster and much more energized than it was a moment ago.
Nice. And did the Necromancer stop his chanting?
He did stop his chanting. So you can see the Elven Knight is kind of struggling towards the chains, and it looks like she might be able to break them given enough time. Well, the Elven Spirit, so to speak. Okay, and then it's Auroran.
Move there and attack.
Nom nom nom. 21. Man, I'm making life difficult for myself with the amount of enemies. The skulls clacking and clattering just fly around Roran's mouth, and he can't really get a grip on any of them.
And that'll be it for me.
Edamir. No, not Edamir. It was just Edamir. It is now Marisol. I did this while streaming XCOM earlier as well today. My brain is entirely fried from all of the packing, but we'll have ourselves a good session, even though I'm going to struggle with names.
Well, I bring forth my Iris of the Sky. I pray to all that is holy that I will hit the Necromancer. That's the Thorhallr, right?
The Necromancer is Thorhallr, indeed.
Yes. And I let her fly.
I can hear you from the side, but I'm only picking up about half of your mic is only picking up about half of what you're saying.
I'm picking up everything.
I'm not getting it. But then again, I can also hear what she says here. That's not picked up by the mic.
So I assume a 38 is a good hit.
A 38 is a critical, ma'am. But you're going to need to enunciate your words like a fucking lady when you speak into the mic so that everybody can hear it. That is a very good hit. He is definitely now severely injured from that shot.
And 6 persistent fire damage for him.
Yep.
And I reload.
You can see that he's wearing robes. Definitely not made of the sort of leather that is going to get you a warm welcome in any town. And the moment they catch fire, they sort of weep bodily fluids, and the fire is put out. And he's now dripping with, well, ick. Dripping with you. Right, speaking of bog mummies, this one is going to start shambling your way. Whoa, I am a mummy. I'm not very fast. Actually, bog mummies are surprisingly fast because they're not zombies. They're of course going to go... They want to be where the people are, so this one is going to move up and try to punch Preacher. Actually, no, it is... Yeah, it's going to try to punch Preacher. Gets up, tries to punch Preacher, manages to hook its claws into his robes, and actually pulls him to his feet as it drags its fist back for another strike. And you guys are not the only ones rolling terribly today. Herko can't really see anything, so he moves up to Iodi, like, Tiny dragon friend, you have the big brain. What do you want killed first?
Herko, you know what you must do. Go after the biggest thing and smoosh it.
Well, you see Herko heading down towards the skulls, and then he goes, oh! And sprints over towards the Grave Knight. Mador, it is your turn, sir.
All right. I take it the Necro is really long range for my crossbow.
Let us test that assumption. He's at 130 feet, so that would be a -2 to hit for you. That is just within your second range increment. That is a powerful siege crossbow. It can shoot accurate up to something like 600 feet.
I'm going to take a shot at him.
Hoo boy! That is a critical. Damn. You should change your name to Mador, Killer of Mages. Because Mador places that crossbow bolt straight in his eye, and the wizard, the necromancer, goes down. You can also remember the zombies and skeletons are starting to dissipate, but it looks like the stronger undead are held together by their own will, but all of the ones that are, well, mindless are starting to crumble. Sorry, I cut you off there, Mother. What were you saying?
No problem, I just listened to you.
Yeah. Mador Killer of Mages just snipes that necromancer straight in the eye, and he goes down.
I'll move up. I'm switching to Lucerne Hammer.
Okay.
And I'm going to move up to where I can get, where I won't get any opportunity attack, and prep for an attack.
Gotcha. Let's see. That'll be keep you within 1 square, so that'll be there. Yeah. The cadaverous rake tuts and like, oh, monsieur! 2 against 1 is not a fair fight. Come, duel me instead. And then he moves up to Herko and Heshko actually parries the first rapier attack, and then you can see that rake is starting to dance around like like he's really enjoying life. You can also hear a mighty roar from behind the camp as a huge skeleton comes thundering out of the woods. So that is gonna get there. Boom, boom, boom. It also seems to be crumbling, but this thing is so big that it's gonna take a while to fall apart. That takes Zara.
Zara's gonna scamper over this way.
Yeah, it's only about a 10-foot drop, so it's not very difficult.
I'm gonna do a esoteric lore on the what's it?
Cadaver's Rake.
Yeah, on the rake.
All right. 32. Okay, I'm actually going to read out the lore now, because I found out these things have little lore pages. So that's a fun thing we can do. So what Sarah knows is, when a skilled duelist is killed, on occasion they rise as Cadaver's Rakes, refusing to let death get in the way of their daring deeds. Appearing as a corpse-like version of their living form, a Cadaver's Rake retains their memories and much of their personality. The first act of many Cadaver's Rakes is to pay a surprise visit to family and friends, unveiling their arrival. If they're met with revulsion or attempts to lay them to rest, the Rake typically lashes out at the perceived betrayal or departs in offended confusion. Cadaver's Rakes who are appropriately fated by friends and family often retain an affection and attachment, becoming undying protectors. This isn't necessarily a good thing, however, as the Cadaver's Rake's undead worldview creates impossible demands. The transition to undeath corrupts their previously benevolent individuals, and their single-minded focus on finding more opponents to duel cuts a bloody swath across stretches of countryside they once protected. Rarely, those who are especially virtuous retain some of their moral code, though even then their dispositions are mercurial. All, however, retain the flamboyance and swagger that made them notable in life, as quick with a quip as they are with a blade. The impulse to toy with their opponents becomes the undoing of many an overconfident rake. Though most Cadaver's Rakes rise after losing a duel, especially those that involve foul play, any cause of death can suffice, save for a peaceful passing in old age. Of course, they have the standard undead immunities: death affects, disease, paralyzed, poisoned, and unconscious. And they don't have any clear weaknesses, but they're usually very good duelists.
Okay, well he is weak to me then.
Yep, he's got a weakness for Sarah, just like Heshko. And that is a hit. Yeah, Sarah smacks him pretty good, but he just seems entertained, like, ha ha! A blue beauty! It will be an honor to duel you, and I shall both steal your heart and puncture it with my rapier.
Oh my god.
That'll be the end of my turn,
Right, there we are. Out in the woods, you hear hoot, hoot, and as something very large comes crashing through them. Oh, map is misbehaving a bit. As two huge zombified owlbears come crashing in from either side. And it's Eodi's turn.
Ah, yes. I would like to move to there.
Yes, sir.
And then Iodi claps his hands together and throws a fireball in the middle of this big old group of enemies here with the T-Rex.
Ah, excellent choice, Mother.
So you're going to need a basic reflex for all of those monsters.
Yep, I'm gonna need some damage from you as well, sir. Well, the hobgoblin skeletons, already crumbling, are blown to bits by Iodi's fireball and all go down. The mummy seems particularly resistant to Iodi's or to fire in general, but it's slightly singed. And the Tyrannosaurus skeleton loses a couple of ribs, but even though it's crumbling and obviously not in great shape, this thing is just so massive that losing a couple of ribs doesn't slow it down particularly much. Right. Edamir, you're the one who gave me electricity, so give me a D100 roll.
Oh man.
Wow. Did not see that coming. The flesh golem looks down at its hands. It's like, Master dead? Master dead? What am I? I'm a freak! And then it disappears out through the woods. Because there was a 10% chance that it would gain self-awareness there.
I love that.
Nice.
Oh my god.
Well,
That was a surprise.
having flesh golems that's enemies in Pathfinder is a bit like playing orcs in Warhammer. You never know what they're going to do. It is Magnus's turn.
Yep, so Magnus dismounted. Okay. Okay, Magnus is just going to move up in front of Iodi. And then, yeah, just going to go stand in front of Maddox.
Right, moves up in front of Mador. You can see Karin Dreikastelhoch, very, very badly beaten. Is unconscious. Whether or not she's alive, who knows? But Walther is he's awake and he's sending Zara like a quick wink. So Zara can see him fiddling with his with the manacles on him. Hey Mora, good to see you, buddy. Gonna need you to check your Discord, bud. New turn, new times for fun and profit. Hum 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 hum. The Grave Knight. He is simply gonna go ham again. I gotta check something real quick. Dum 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 dum. Dum 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 dum. Oh, well, that's super good. Okay, that doesn't work. So he is just gonna start smashing. He is going for Preacher again, because Preacher just seems to be the most dangerous enemy. Pulls his sword out, attacks. That is a hit, and attacks again. And that is also a hit for a total of... let's see... 34 damage, and I've subtracted your fire resistance.
Thank you.
Smashing into Preacher twice, you can see like little shards of clay smacking out. The clacking skull swarm is going, and they all scream at the same time. 30-foot cone. Oh my me. So that is going to be Magnus, Roran, Edamir. Actually, just Magnus, Roran, Edamir. I was certain that was going to reach Eodi and Marzal, but I was wrong. So I'm going to need a DC 29 will from Magnus, Roran, and Edamir.
It does if you use its actual, like, the edge of its, not its token, but its actual size.
Oh yeah, you're right. I took it from the center there because I'm used to playing. So I'm going to need DC 29 will from Marzal and Eodi as well. Thank you, Edamir. Magnus completely ignores the effect. Marzal takes half damage, Roran takes half damage, and the rest
I
take
take
full
full.
damage. So that is 40 sonic damage to the ones who took full, 20 to the ones who took half, and nothing to Magnus, who has forgotten to take the wadding out of his helmet, so he can't really hear that well. In addition, oh my. You are also confused one. All of you. So that is Edamir. What the heck does confused one do? I can't remember it, but I'm certain it's something. Marisol,
You are
save.
flat-footed. You don't treat anyone as your ally, though they might still treat you as theirs, and you cannot delay, ready, or use reactions.
Oh my.
You use all of your actions to strike or cast offensive cantrips, though the GM can have you use other actions to facilitate attacks, such as draw a weapon, move so that a target is in reach, and so forth. Your targets are determined randomly by the GM. If you have no other viable targets, you target yourself, automatically hitting but not scoring a critical hit. If it is impossible for you to attack or cast a spell, you babble incoherently, wasting your actions. Each time you take damage from an attack or a spell, you can attempt a DC 11 flat check to recover from your confusion and end the condition.
Nice. And then it moves into, so it's in the square basically of both Magnus, Mador, and Roran. Whoever has attacks of opportunities may take those.
If you are confused, you do not get to take the reaction.
Right. Magnus wasn't confused, neither was he. So none of them were confused, actually. But both of them missed, because these skulls are harder to hit than they look like. And I'm going to need a DC 29 reflex save from Mador, Magnus, and Roran.
Nice.
So that is a 24 piercing damage to each, as the skulls just kind of swarm them and start gnawing on them. Preacher!
Oof. Yeah, first action, I'm gonna shake out one of the special potions from our good friend Yuri. So that's a +6, 18 back.
Very well.
And then we're gonna continue wailing on this guy. My first it's gonna be flurry of blows. Second attack is gonna be a combat grab if I hit.
Gotcha.
Wow.
You are not having a good day when it comes to combat, are you?
Nope.
So yeah, those are 2 misses.
Okay, final attack on this then.
3 misses. Dang! Right, over to the very confused fox.
Yep. Who am I attacking? And am I attacking or using a cantrip? probably cantrip.
I'm gonna say you're biting. Roll a d4. 1 to 2 is Roran, 3 is Marisol, and 4 is Marisol. So yeah,
Well, there's also the skulls there.
true. So 3 would be Marisol, 4 would be the skulls. 1 would be. Go for the skulls. That's what Eramir would be attacking, even if he was confused, because they're undead and he's a druid.
And I'm biting or cantrip.
Well, being confused, you're biting. Going back to instinct.
I do not have a thing set up for.
In that case, just use a cantrip. We don't spend time on it.
Then it's going to be electric arc. On the skulls and the owlbear.
Right.
So-
Give me a d4. On a 1, it goes for the owlbear. On a 2 to 3, it goes for Magnus. On a 4, it goes for Mador.
All right.
Goes for the owlbear. Sure. Throw your electric arcs.
It's a basic reflex.
Gotcha. Okay. The skulls do not seem to care whatsoever, but the owlbear is ever so slightly sapped.
And then Roran will continue to bite at the skulls.
Oh, so close to a 20. That, however, is a miss. Your dice are just angling for TPK, aren't they?
Yep. And that'll be my turn.
Okay, that takes us to Marisol.
Yeah. I am gonna take a moment and aim at that mummy.
Gotcha.
But I am switching out my weapon for my royal slug thrower. First. Royal
Very well.
slug rifle, I mean.
The Royal Slug Rifle, right? Before you do that, though, let me just point out I was entirely wrong about Eodi's Fireball's effect. That mummy is actually weak to fire, not resistant.
Oh, well then I'd keep my Iris of the Sky up.
Yeah, that's what I thought you'd want to do, now that I double-checked its resistances. I misremembered.
31 then.
That's a critical.
For 37.
It is very, very damaged. It is very, very damaged right now. Okay.
And I reload.
The bog mummy over by Preacher is going to try to punch him twice. Preacher dodges the first punch. On the second punch, it swings and goes prone as it falls flat on his face. The second bog mummy is going to move down to Magnus and start wailing on him. Whoop. That's a miss. And a miss. He blocks 2 attacks from it easily enough. And you can see up by the tents that Estrella has now snuck in and is starting to pick the locks of the manacles on her 2 captured captains. That's cool. He notices that Zara is in combat. He goes like, you have this enemy. I will smash the big one while you smash the small one. And he does actually hit twice. Damn. Slashes into the Grave Knight twice with his neck splitter, seemingly damaging it a fair bit. That takes us over to Mador.
Wait, I'm going to take a 5-foot step back, so I'm out of that swarm.
Gotcha.
And as I'm doing, I'm switching to my glaive, and I'm going to swing at the skulls.
Okay then.
$34.
34's a hit. 25. They seem pretty resistant to being slashed. It's difficult to get a good proper hit on them with.
I know, but it's my best weapon for damage wise.
That's very fair.
Swing a second. Actually, yeah, I'm gonna swing a second time.
That is a miss. Right. The rake looks Zara deeply in the eyes, like, "Oh, you are a very beautiful lady. It will be a sad thing to snuff out your life, but if I am lucky, the three that are one will raise you as one of my compatriots, and then we can make sweet love all night." And then he tries to stab Zara twice. That is a hit. Zara then manages to defend herself from the second attack, and then he's in and he's ready to counterattack if Zara attacks him again. 22 piercing damage from the rapier. Right, you hear huffing and wheezing as Tumult comes running up and drops a heal on Iodi for 21. He's like, "I'm sorry, I'm a bit late. The brisket was on the boiler." And then the Tyrannosaurus skeleton kind of rumbles up, and it is going to try to eat Magnus. Oh boy. Actually, it gets a mouthful of skulls and crunches a fair amount of them. But of course, Tyrannosauruses are nothing if not diligent, so it's going to try to chomp on Magnus again. And it does manage to bite him for 19 and raises him up in its jaws. He's now grabbed and in the mouth of that Tyrannosaurus. It is now Zara's turn.
Zara is going to take a step action to move there. If I go to this location, would I be flanking with Preacher on the Grave Knight?
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna make a duplicate of myself there, but don't move my token.
Okay. I need to make an inverted color Zara we can throw out so we know where the token is. For now, though, I'm just gonna say that we'll use a hobgoblin token for where Zara is.
Up 1 square.
So we know that that's Zara's very ugly token currently. Okay.
And then I'm going to swing at the cadaver.
28.
30 with the flanking.
30 with the flanking. That is a hit with the flanking. Oh,
23. +4 for it being weak to me.
yeah, Sora smacks the cadaver, breaks a couple of ribs, and he's like, "Ah, you are feisty. You will make an excellent lover."
You'll make a fine pile of bone meal.
I'm
And
not
that'll be my
only
turn.
bone. Some of me may have rotted, but the important things, they still work. And he points to his groin with his left hand. Hoot, hoot. This owlbear is going to move down. And it is going to try to bite Eoti. Or smash Eoti with its talon. 21. Eoti is one slippery little kobold, however, and he does manage to avoid that. The other owlbear is going to run up and try to slash Zara's mirror image. What's the armor class of that thing?
The same as attacking me. So 27.
Right, so, and it misses the mirror image twice, actually. It is Eoti's turn.
I'm confused, so I guess I'm just going to use an offensive cantrip randomly.
Yes, indeed, Leo.
How you want it?
Give me a D4. 1 is Tummel, 2 is Marisol, 3 is the Bone Swarm, and 4 is the Owlbear. Bone Swarm it is.
Got any persuasion of spell you want me to use, or what?
Nah, do what Eoti would do.
Ray of Frost is my go-to, so
He's just a bit confuzzled about who the enemy is currently. Wow, that's a hit as well. That is a hit on the Bone Swarm. Takes a small amount of damage. Whatever that thing is, you're not entirely certain. You just know you want to kill it. Seems pretty resistant to cold. It is now Magnus's turn.
How high up is Magnus?
Yeah, how tall is the Tyrannosaurus?
20 feet?
Well, he's about 20 feet up.
Yeah. He's just going to try and hit it with his warhammer.
Very well. That bonks off it completely ineffectually.
And he'll try again.
And again, doesn't really do much. He does have 3 actions.
Yep, he's going to try and get out of its jaws.
Very well. 27 versus this thing's. Nope, he's stuck. That thing's got him by the danglies.
Certainly got him by something.
Certainly got him by something, that's true. The Grave Knight is going to keep smackarooning against... is it, though? Yeah. This thing is pretty smart. It's actually going to take a step back. And then it's going to hit both Hetko and Preacher with a devastating blast. So that's a DC 29 reflex.
Said it used a step action.
Yeah, it did. The Preacher takes no damage. And Hetko... I was waiting for Hetko to roll his saving throw, which is pretty stupid because I'm the one controlling him. Today has been a many cups of coffee day. Hetko dodges the brunt of that blast, actually. Still injured, but not severely. Excuse me. Fancy grounds. You wanna let me do the thing? There we are. Okay. And then it's gonna not do anything because that's a 2-action attack. Right. Fancy Grounds is being a bit dodgy currently. It's giving me a lot of lag, and I don't know why. Right. The swarm. It is now swarming only Roran, so I'm gonna need 3 DC 29 reflex saves from Roran. Success. Fail and fail. So he's going to get hit twice. The skulls are just gnawing on him for 19 and 26 for a total of 45 piercing damage to Roran as he's being gnawed on by the skulls.
Hey, Shago.
Yes, that's me, sir.
Basic reflex save means half on a success.
Yeah, but the swarming gnaw is a special kind of thing. Preacher, it is you.
I think the mummy who's on his back can't interfere if I step forwards.
That would be it. Could potentially try. You don't know until you try.
Yeah. Okay, I wail on him instead. He's an enemy. He needs to die anyway.
Very well.
He's flat-footed down on the ground, so flurry blows from him. Another one.
Preacher gets down, 1 critical to the face, and then he slips in the mud and lands on top of the mummy.
Frickin' hell.
So it's a good. The first one's a good punch, though.
Yeah, I'm gonna spread 1d6 electricity to the Grave Knight.
Oh. Creature's crackling and arcing with electrical. Yeah, with thunder.
I do have a feat that is called Kip Up, which allows me to do a free action stand without reactions, no opportunities.
All right, so he just Jackie Chan's his way back to his feet and still has 2 actions.
Can I land in this square?
If you make a DC 15 acrobatics, you can.
I will try.
That is a good acrobatics roll. Yes, you can.
Then I will keep on hitting the big one instead. So let's see. That's one more here.
That's it.
Like that. And 1 regular fist to the face. No.
Right. I see that Temult has now joined us, which is good. So he'll be playing his own character from now on. We're gonna need him to get onto the Discord as well. Excellent. Okay, Preacher smacks him, but good. Misses on the last one though. But yeah, that smack. He definitely, even though being a Grave Knight, he definitely feels the adamantine punching wraps that Preacher has now properly dent his armor, and he's not unsteady on his feet, but you can see from his movements that he's a bit more careful about that attacking Preacher now, or fighting Preacher.
Wait, I also have the Ghost Touch rune if that affects him especially.
You never know. Edamir.
Alright, focus spell, heal animal.
He's now gotten his wits back about him.
Roran will step there and attack the T-Rex.
Big thing wants to eat big thing.
Look at the size of that bone. I want to chew it.
That thing is very, very durable, though, and Roran's bite actually doesn't damage it.
Darn. He will, or I will then cast, or no, I already cast him. I will step away.
Gotcha.
And that'll be it.
Okay. Marzal.
Yeah. So, I am gonna shoot at that mummy again
Right.
with my Iris of the Sky.
Gotcha.
Taking a moment to aim.
Okay. That's a critical. Yeah, Marisol sets her phaser to disintegrate, shoots that thing straight in the head, and it just falls over, completely destroyed. The other bog mummy, it tries to get up
And
next
I
to...
have one more action.
My bad.
Now I'm gonna, out of my sleeve, just pull out the Royal Slug rifle and put one bullet into the skull of that thing that holds Magnus.
Okay. Ah, so close to that one that would have hit Magnus. That is a hit, though. Bonks it solidly straight in the head. You can see kind of cracks spreading out through the skull. Seems like bludgeoning damage is pretty effective. But it doesn't drop Magnus, and it's still a very large skeleton. You have no idea what kind of dragon this was, because you've never seen one like it, but it must have been terrifying in real life. The bog mummy next to Magnus, or to Preacher, gets up and then realizes that the binding holding it together is completely destroyed, and falls down in pieces. You can see Estrella has now gotten caught in out of her manacles, and she's working on Walter. Herko, you've never actually seen his eyes turn red before and foam start out his mouth, but he gets real angry as he roars, "Get away from my woman!" to the cadaverous rake. Wow. Hitting it 3 times. Yeah, he actually bites hold of his neck and chops his sword arm off with his orc neck splitter, and then dropping the neck splitter, grabs hold of the hips of the cadaverous rake and using his teeth pulls his head straight off. And that takes us to Mador.
Okay, I'm going to swing on the skulls again.
And that is a miss. Man, 2 2s in a row. Statistically unlikely. Just no success swinging at them. They're swarming too quickly. Like wasps, except their skulls. Which brings us to Temult. It's very difficult to guess what Temult wants to do. I can see the player has logged on to Fancy Grounds. But currently hard to assume what he wants to be doing. So I'm just going to assume that he wants to cast a 3-action heal. Giving 9 hit points back to everybody within 30 feet of him. And actually, you can see the swarm of skulls. Looks like an area type spell is doing a number on it. The swarm takes a lot of damage from that. And the zombified owlbear that's trying to eat Eodi also gets injured. The Tyrannosaurus. What is this? Hello. Oh yeah, it's just going to keep chewing on Magnus. So that's going to be nom 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 nom. Roll to hit first, Shoggoth, you dingus. That is 1, 2, 2 hits. For a total of 29 piercing damage, as it's just kind of gnawing on Magnus like a dog would gnaw on a treat. Trying to get him with its little paws to hold him more steady. But can't get its hands up to its mouth. Zara, it is your turn.
Excellent. So that hobgoblin token is now the real me.
Okay,
Who's going to step here?
very well.
This one dissolves, so I'm going to use one action to move it here.
Right.
And then
with you so
I'm
far?
going to make a knowledge check. No, I'll swing the hammer. I'll swing the hammer at the owlbear.
Homicides. How hard are these things to hit? Not very, that's a hit. Smacks it. Zara smacks it good, but I mean, zombie fight or not, it's still an owlbear. They are hard to kill. So that's the bear part of the name. But she cracks a couple of ribs for sure.
And that's my 3 actions.
Gotcha. So this owlbear, how smart is this thing? Let's see. It is going for Zara's illusion. And this time it actually manages to smack it with a talon and then lifts it and slams it into the ground. I don't know if that thing has hit points or something else happens.
So I exist in both places simultaneously. It's not an illusion. It is actually me.
Oh dear. Well, in that case, that's going to be 17 piercing damage from the first hit, and then a DC 20 fortitude. As you get slammed into the ground for another 16 bludgeoning. And Zara does not care about that impact at all, not even a slight concussion.
How much was the damage on the slime?
A total of 33 from both attacks. The other zombie owlbear here screeches. So everybody within 60 feet, so that's everyone except for Preacher and Zara and Herko, need to give me a DC 19 will save.
Is it only enemies, or does he hit his friends too?
Well, his friends are immune to that sort of effect, so they don't really care.
Magnus is going to use Divine Grace.
It said will save?
Yes, sir.
Still only gives him 17.
Man, Magnus is straight up not having a good time. So it's Marisol and Magnus that fail.
And me.
And Mador. Oh dear. So let me find your characters, because now Marisol is frightened 3. That thing is horrifying. That owlbear screech, compared, in addition to being a zombie, is just the worst thing you have ever heard in your life. Mador is frightened 2 because he's got the bravery thingamajig going, and Magnus is frightened 3 as well, unless paladins still have some sort of immunity to fear. I don't think so anymore.
Aura of Courage reduced by 1.
Okay, so he's frightened 2 as well. He's too far away for the Aura of Courage to work on anybody else, and he's not really that motivating being chewed on by a T-Rex.
I'm going to use my reaction and gain 10 hit points from them being frightened.
Oh yeah, you got that thing.
Invigorated by the fear.
You like it when your friends are frightened. So yeah, the fox seems better now. Iodi is no longer confused. Back to his old self.
Yeah. Let's see. I'm going to take a 5-foot step to there.
Gotcha.
And then I am going to do a ray of frost at the T-Rex that is munching on Magnus.
Gotcha.
Ooh.
That is a hit. The rare frost actually does nothing. You see it hit, but this thing is just obviously resistant to that sort of thing.
Okay, that'll be my turn.
It is Magnus's turn.
Put me down, you great pounding dragon thing. And Magnus lashes out with the warhammer.
Gotcha. That's it. Doom, 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 doom. You can see the warhammer is especially effective against this thing being undead. And Magnus kind of feels, for a moment, if he can almost smell his wife close to him, and he regains 5 hit points. Already done it on your character sheet for you.
Thank
You
you.
still have 2 actions.
Brian, says Magnus, and tries to hit it again.
Oof, that is a miss.
With his last action, he reaches up with his arm that's holding his shield and manages to touch his breastplate. And again, his armor lights up in a brilliant yellow-orange glow as he uses Lay on Hands.
Very well. So he's going to heal himself a bit.
Yep, he is. Pardon me while I look for it. Yep, there we go. That's it.
Heals himself for 48. That's fine. That's hopefully Marozowicki joining us.
I believe it is. And that's my turn.
Player of Tumult. We weren't aware we were a player short today, so our substitute player is a bit late.
Shoggy, a question before we carry on. Was Roran affected at all by the Frightened?
No, he passed.
Yeah, he's fine. Right, Walther, he gets up and he looks like he's planning on coming down to help with the fight, but then you can see him going down on one knee as he tries to get up, obviously very injured. And that takes us to Grave Knight Bro. Or Grow, as he's also known. He's gonna wail on Preacher. Whew. That is a critical.
Oof.
He smacks Preacher for 68 damage, minus 5 because it's fire, so 63. And Preacher now also has Bleed 4.
I am down.
He's leaking fluids where he's lying. Seeing that he's down and there are other threats, he's going to lash out at Herko. Not going to bother finishing Preacher, trusting the bleeding to do that. And that's a critical on Herko as well. Ow. Herko now also severely injured and bleeding badly, and with his last attack, he's going to lash out at the mirror image from Zara, which is a miss. Right, the Skull Swarm, clickety clackety, I'm coming to eat your faces. It's going to clack its way up here. And then it's going to start gnawing on people. So that's a DC 29 reflex save for Edamir, Marisol, and Tumult.
Do I get an attack of opportunity that comes through?
Yes, you do, sir. That's a miss, however. Edamir does not get gnawed on. Marisol does not get gnawed on. Eody, he's our man. If he can't do it, nobody can. There we are. No, none of you get gnawed on. And then it does it again. So give me another round of saves. This time Edamir does get gnawed on, but miraculously, Eody is not even getting gnawed on. It's Temmelt. Miraculously, Temmelt and Marisol aren't getting gnawed on. So it's only the tiny fox that gets bitten by multiple skulls for 14 piercing damage. That takes us to Preacher, who is down. And then comes the question. What happens when you have the bleeding condition and you are downed? This has never come up before, so I'm going to have to check that up. Oh dear. That bleed damage is going to take him to wounded 2. So Preacher's going to have to give us a fortitude save to kind of stabilize his own ass.
Okay.
Let me check that.
If you're dying with several types of persistent damage, the persistent damage increases your dying condition only once.
Only once. Excellent. So that's 10 plus your current dying. It's a flat check, not a fortitude check. So roll that again. You're going to need to go 12 or higher.
1.
Oh my. Well, that is a critical fail. There's nothing about critical fail here, though. So, but Preacher goes to dying. See, he was dying 1. He's going to go to dying 3.
Oof.
He is not in any shape, in very good shape currently. And it is now Edamir's turn.
I will have.
Can I interrupt real quick?
Go ahead.
He also needs to make a DC 15 flat check to see if he stops bleeding.
Go ahead. Give us a DC 15 flat check. See if you stop bleeding. Nope. He's leaking fluid still. Now it's Edamir's turn.
Worm will move 10 feet there. Pick me up.
All right. And then he picks Edamir up. Tiny fox in big dog mouth. Sort of a surreal picture. You got a wolf the size of a warhorse running with its mouth open with a little Arctic fox just standing on its tongue, kind of holding on to its 2 front teeth with its 4 front paws trying to not fall out.
And I will cast a level 2 heal on Preacher.
Shiny. So that heals Preacher a bit, and he goes from dying 3 to wounded 1.
And
Do I recover 30 from the 112?
You never go below 0 hit points, so you have 30 hit points now.
You have 30 hit points, and the bleed has stopped because you've got healing. So Preacher is now somewhat functional again. Right, and that is Edamir's turn, I assume.
Yes.
That takes us to Marisol, who is now only frightened 2.
Yeah, I need to get away from these skulls.
No, it's fine. Don't worry about it. Could you repeat that, please? I couldn't hear a single thing. I hear you talking on the other side, but I can't hear it on the mic.
You suddenly disappeared from me as well. Do I need to tumble out of there, or can I just walk away, 5 foot step away from the skulls?
Well, you can try both. It's up to you what you want to be doing.
I'm scared shitless, so I'm just gonna try to step away.
Okay. Steps out of the cloud of skulls with no issue.
And shaking, I will take a deep breath, and I will shoot the T-Rex again.
Gotcha. That's a
38.
critical. Holy cow. That's a lot of damage. Okay. Anything else you're going to be doing?
No, that's all I could do, standing there trembling.
Yeah. Estrella casts a glance at everybody else. Does some sign language that none of you speak, because not a single one of you knows thieves can't, and then disappears. Hetko, bleeding badly. Bleeding very badly, actually. Roars as he charges. Actually, he moves up and then moves in on the owlbear to avoid getting smacked by that Grave Knight. And then he is going to smack the owlbear twice, and that is 2 hits. Oh, well, the owlbear knows it's been hit. Mador, now just frightened 1.
Okay. I'm going to move within striking distance of the skulls.
Right, let me remove these bog mummies real quick. They're cluttering up the map. Right, that would have to be there. Yep. That's a hit. Smacks 2 skulls out of the air. They're still kind of clattering about, but starting to be fewer of them now. And second one's a miss. And a miss. That takes us to Temolt, and welcome Marasiliki, our last player for today. Glad you could join on such short notice.
Greetings. Sorry I'm late. Disrupt undead on the skulls, please.
Right. Are you in control of your character currently, or do you need me to be rolling for you?
Should be, but it's a DC 24 Fortitude save for the
right.
critters.
That's what that is. It's a Fortitude. That is a fail, actually.
Yeah, nice.
They get smacked about a bit now. There's not that many skulls clattering around anymore. 8 to 10, but it's still dangerous enough with them flying about trying to bite everybody and their uncle. Right.
And can you share the map with me, please?
I can do this thing. The T-Rex finally giving up after the binding of it has broken due to the Necromancer getting sniped out. Turn 1 falls into dust, and Magnus takes 11 falling damage as he smacks into the ground. Owlbear time. Let's see, is this thing smart enough to attack anybody real this turn? Nope, it's still going to go for... Well, it's going for Zara. That's a miss. And then it smacks at Zara very clumsily, and it is now prone. The other owlbear sees a tasty snack and is going to move down after Yodi. That gives Mador no hack opportunity. That's a critical. hacks into the owlbear's flank, obviously damaging it very severely. But it is still standing, and it is going to try to eat Eodi, and failing utterly. Yeah, can't hit him. Eodi is just, his scales are too thick, and Eodi is too agile to be eaten by that owlbear. Speaking of Eodi, it is his turn.
Ooh-wee. I'm going to use a focus point and do Elemental Tempest. Essentially, my next spell that I cast, I have a 10-foot emanation off of me. All enemies take a d6 per spell level, whatever I cast.
Oh.
I'm going to do a 2-action Scorching Ray. And hit the skulls and the owlbear.
Shiny. Oh, so close to a critical. Was that the owlbear or the skulls?
Skulls first, then owlbear.
Okay, so hit on the skulls, crit on the owlbear.
So that's gonna be... That's the skulls damage.
Mm-hmm.
That's the owlbears, and then they're both gonna take 2d6 extra from the Elemental Tempest.
Yeah, the owlbear is incinerated by the damage and by the Scorching Ray, and the skulls very weak to area of effect damage, as it turns out. All of them explode in little shards of bone, as they all just kind of overheat. Meaning everybody within 30 feet of them needs to give me a DC 29 basic reflex save. So everybody failed. And the shard of negative energy and bone splinters does 23 damage to everyone.
And then I'll use my last action to move over to here.
Gotcha. Magnus managed to land on his feet, slightly worse for wear, but no longer frightened. It is his turn.
Okay, Magnus looks quickly, sizes up the battlefield, and there's, "I'm coming!" and charges right over next to Preacher.
I'm a coming, lads. I'm a coming. And he is going to take an attack of opportunity heading in from the knight, however, because he's got long reach with that greatsword of his.
Oh, yeah.
So the flaming greatsword swings towards Magnus. Magnus is very heavily armored, so that's not actually a critical. But he is still smacked for 31 damage. So I believe that was 2 move actions for you.
It was. Yeah, Magnus is just going to raise his shield for his last action.
Gotcha. That takes us to the Grave Knight. Recognizing a paladin, he is going to focus on Magnus. That is a hit. That is a hit. And that is a miss. Magnus takes the last one, deflects it with the shield. But he is hit twice for a total of 47 damage. And it is now Preacher's turn. Sort of wobbly, on the ground, but no longer bleeding out.
Okay. Free stand-up action.
Kips up.
And since this obviously is reverse day, I'm going to use a key strike and see if that works.
Yeah. You usually roll the ones with the key strike, so
yeah,
maybe it works properly this time.
We'll see. Second attack is going to be a combat grab. First, flurry of blows. Nope.
It's still reverse day.
It is obviously that. But second attack is a 1 again.
Have you been playing any multiplayer with Tulmar lately? Because I think his dice might have infected yours. And Magnus goes over on his ass again and is prone.
Preacher, perhaps?
Yes. Yes. As I said, I'm gonna be bad with names today because I'm very tired, but we'll live with it.
Is my last action lost, or can I stand up on that one?
You can stand up on that one.
I will try that then.
Yeah, he's already used his reaction to smack Magnus. So Preacher gets up. It is now Edamir's turn.
Okay.
Hell.
Roran will move there, drop me.
Right. Roran, I'm going to have to just move you physically because the game did not like that. And Roran's going to move up there.
Right there.
Right.
Roran will attack.
Roran's a chunky boy. That's a very large wolf attacking and completely fumbling it. It is Edamir again.
Yep, I will. Just to stop the bleeding, I'll do a 3-action heal. So 5 to Herco, Preacher, and Magnus. And then 5 positive damage to everything else, the 2 others.
Yeah.
Grave Knight and Owlbear.
You can see Herco's shoulders kind of tense, be a bit less tense as he stops bleeding so heavily from his wound.
And that'll be my turn.
And that is Marisol, who is no longer frightened.
Okay. I'm gonna move up here.
Yes.
And then I'll aim and fire at the Grave Knight. And I miss.
Oh dear.
Indeed. Fortunately, this is not the Iris of the Sky, so I'm not putting fire to myself. I'm just destroying my rifle.
That's true. However, Magnus and Preacher give me a d20 each. Whoever rolls lowest is going to need to make a reflex DC 29 reflex save to avoid getting hit in the back by Marisol. That's Magnus. That's a DC 29 reflex, sir. Nope. So please roll your damage, Marisol, as you shoot Magnus in the back.
Sorry.
21 damage as Magnus feels something very hard bite into his back armor.
Yeah, Magnus is streaming blood out of the joints in his armor and just falls down.
Yeah, so Magnus is now dying 1. Boom, 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 as he is taken down by Marisol. Lovely. Herco. He is looking at Zara like, let me handle this big beast. You go do what you do best. He's obviously very injured, but he's not giving up. That was me coughing from allergies, by the way, so don't expect that to happen every time. That is 1 hit on the owlbear, 2 hit on the owlbear, and that's enough to decapitate it. The owlbear is now dead. And on his 3rd action, he pulls out a little vial and drinks it, healing himself ever so slightly with one of Eodi's patented potions. Mador, it is you, sir.
Wait, I'm gonna take its full movement to get behind Preacher.
Let's see. 60 to get there, and then yeah, that's gonna take you. You can get there with a movement. I did the math. So yeah, that's gonna be a full movement. Temult,
I'm gonna get where I can hopefully see.
Let's see. Into full squares. Yep, you can see him.
And glorious, almighty fun. Divine Wrath, right on top of the Death Knight.
Oh my.
Which is a DC 24 Fortitude save for him. And I hope that all of you are good aligned.
I am not.
What's an alignment?
Well, you said it was a fortitude save?
Yes.
How far is the area?
You are
It
hit.
is 1 second.
Alright.
I'm looking at the spell. So,
20-foot burst.
yep.
And what's the
DC 24.
All right.
for fortitude or
Fortitude.
So,
But only if you're not good.
Sora takes half damage, and Edamir takes full damage. Roll your damage, sir.
Sorry, I thought you were good people.
define good?
Ironically, the Grave Knight seems to shrug it off without any issue. And it is now Zara's turn, slightly singed.
I'm going to roll a esoteric lore on the Grave Knight.
Go for it. 31. Grey Knights are undead warriors granted unlife by a cursed suit of armor, and that's pretty much all the lore on them, because they have so many rules that they couldn't fit any lore in here. But yeah, I saw also aware that they are champions, resurrected, or not resurrected, but raised to undeath by necromancy, and usually enlarged by the to the size of a small giant by the effects of it as well. They do have the classical undead immunities, although this one being they're usually aligned with some sort of element. This one's would be immune to fire as well, because his weapons are on fire. The most dangerous thing with them is the sacrilegious aura. When a creature within 30 feet of them uses a positive spell or ability, they can immediately try to counteract it. And that's as far as Zara gets, before she ends up on her back. But then she remembers that the Grave Knight's armor is actually cursed. Anybody who puts it on will turn into that Grave Knight at some time, and you have to destroy the armor to actually permanently destroy the Grave Knight. And anything else you can't remember.
And I will use my third action to attempt to stand up.
Yep, easy enough. I guess Magnus has eaten all the attacks of opportunity.
Okay.
Takes us to Iodi.
Magnus is down, right?
Magnus is down.
Speaking of which, sorry for the interject, Magnus automatically gets a +3 to any damaging effects on his reflex save, so that should have been a 29. I'm sorry for that.
Well, that could have waited until your turn. It is now Iodi's turn.
I'm going to cast Warp Step. I'm gonna do double move over to Magnus, and I'll pour a potion on him and try to stabilize him.
Roll for your potion. That's 11 hit points back. It's something.
+6.
17 hit points back. It's more than something. Magnus is now wounded instead of dying. Right. See how you can do anything else.
That was my turn. 2 moves and then an action to pour the potion.
Gotcha. So it is Magnus's turn. He's on his back.
Magnus will use a turn to get back up,
Right.
and then he's going to strike at the Grave Knight.
Whammo. No whammo. That's a miss.
Okay, he'll use his last action to raise his shield again.
Gotcha. And it's now the Grave Knight's turn. Slightly annoyed that Magnus won't stay down. And really the same with Preacher. It's going to smack at Magnus first and then Preacher. And that is a critical on Magnus. Smacking him for 61. And then that is a critical on Preacher. Smacking him for 65.
Down again.
Magnus just falls down and is back again.
Slaps both of them to the ground, and then it's gonna turn and smack at Zara as well, which he nimbly dodges. That takes us to Preacher. That is a DC 12 flat check, sir. So Preacher stabilizes at dying 2. And that takes us to Edamir.
Roran will attack. Come on. Oh my god.
That's a miss.
And attack again. Finally. Maybe.
That's also a miss. This Great Knight is very heavily armored and good at defending himself.
And not knowing about his ability, I will cast a 3-action heal.
Right. So let me. It's a day of firsts for us. I can't remember anybody ever trying to counterspell something before. How's this work?
I tried last session, but it didn't actually do anything because nobody cast a spell at me.
Right. How do we counteract something? Let's have ourselves a look-see.
You have to roll over their spell DC, I think.
Yep, that's what it is. So what is your DC?
26.
26. So he counteracts that spell, and his unholy aura actually strangles the positive energy before it can emanate out.
And that will be my turn.
It is now Marisol.
Yeah. So I'm gonna take a moment to swear while I aim.
Yep.
Oh, you cut out.
She's going to try to shoot tonight. I think our internet is a bit unstable. One of the good things about us moving next week is better internet.
Hopefully.
Hopefully. But it can't be much worse than here.
And
Well, that's
a critical.
Fingers crossed.
49. And remember, you have the impact, so you actually get to move him 5 feet away from you.
Yeah. But I don't see why that would be. Well, we'll move him.
Yeah, he's gonna just stagger back ever so slightly. And sadly, that does not provoke attacks of opportunity. But he does. Actually, he's just gonna move Zara a bit because she doesn't want to get crushed by his bulk. She's just gonna move there. Okay.
I'm gonna start reloading.
Right. Yeah, it's a bit of a job reloading the 4 chambers in that rifle. Herko, cursing. It's gonna step down here. And then throw 1 potion into Magnus and 1 into Preacher. So that's gonna be 18 back to Magnus. 13 back to Preacher, who are now wounded 2 instead of dying 2, because they are have been healed again. So that was him. That takes us to Mador.
Okay, so Preacher's in front of me.
Yep.
Okay, I'll move. If I move down here, will I be able to get my attack on the Grave Knight?
You will.
I will swing on the Grave Knight.
Go for it, sir. You do have flanking with Sora as well. You just have terrible dice, because that's a miss. That, however, is a critical.
I get an automatic knockdown when I do a crit.
I believe so.
Pole arm is a 5-foot push.
It's a 5-foot push. Okay, so you get to push him 5 feet. Hammer is a knockdown.
Okay. No, I won't. I won't push him. I'll just keep on swinging.
He is now very, very weakened by those 2 massive blows from Marisol and Mador, but he's not going down. He can still defend himself. And that takes us to Tumult.
Searing lights on him.
Go for it. It hits him. Searing Light, that's a fire damage spell, isn't it?
It is fire and undead. Where is it?
Right, so he takes no fire damage, but he takes the 5d6 good damage.
Okay.
Being flaming, he does not actually care about fire damage. That was a bad joke, my apologies. But the positive damage actually crumbles him down. The armor falls to the floor with the undead flesh inside crumbling to dust. On that note, we've been going for 2 hours 45 minutes, so before we continue our roleplay, we are going to take a 10-minute break for bio and coffee, and we will be just back.
left this channel about, I don't know, 2 hours
There
ago.
we are. Welcome back, everybody. Break got went a bit longer because we ended up discussing spiders, and we all agreed that huntsmen are cute, and we all want them to come live in our house. Yes, so the Grey Knight has fallen clattering to the ground. The armor is old, not first or second Empire old, but it's of a style that's at least 3 or 4 centuries out of date. You'd probably have to hit the history books to find out who this was once.
So are we gonna risk bringing this set of armor back and having them do the thing to it, or are we just gonna destroy it here?
Preacher keels over the other way first, landing with a thump.
It came to me while we were fighting them. The reason why you have to destroy the armor, if you put it on, you become the Grave Knight. I can't believe I forgot that. Temerity would be disappointed with me.
Yikes.
It also stopped my spells.
We should absolutely bring it back with that information.
Right.
Should we check on the 2 people up in the camp?
Yes.
I'm checking on the elf that was chained.
Yeah. As you turn to look at her, you see the chains fall back, and she, in one moment, she's 30 feet away from you, and the next, she just standing, looking down at Preacher, having blinked over. And you can see she's flying a couple of inches off the ground, and it's translucent. She must have been a very tall elf back in the day. She's maybe 7'5", clad in a very well-crafted, ornate plate armor with you can see the golden roses filigreed into it, and a flowing cloak and tabard, the sort of things that would denote an officer today as well. So we're gonna have a small dog barking for a little moment, but that's okay. We'll just have to roleplay amongst yourselves for 30 seconds.
Roaring, quiet.
Magnus gets up off the ground, crawls over to Preacher, and starts treating his wounds after pulling his first aid kit out.
Yeah.
I am doing the same with both Magnus and Preacher.
Preacher has 3 substantial slashes or gashes that simply is, they are reds, really huge things.
Remember, you can only be medicine checked once.
Yeah.
That's 52 back to Preacher.
The hit points are back.
Oh,
I'm not worried
Tara
about that
would love some
anymore.
medicine.
Well, this one will be for Magnuson then.
Right. You just do that real quiet like while we speak. Yeah. And she looks down at Preacher. Come on. We're gonna have to Arena's gonna deal with that. Take her on the lap because she's now in red alert mode. Looks down at Preacher and kind of tuts. Like, I used to hate your kind. I thought you abominations like these undead, but now I can see the soul within you burn brightly. Nothing like the creatures that tried to raise my spirit here and chain it. You would have to be more careful, though. That almost cracked the skull in your chest.
Yes.
She kneels, which looks a bit funny as she's pretty much that much off the ground, floating, but still kneels over Preacher. Like, tell me, creature, what legion were you with?
I cannot be certain. I was made a long millennia ago, and I lost all my memories from that time. I have only fractions left, so I do not honestly know for certain Some memories of the second, some memories of the fourth. I am not sure which one.
Perhaps a kindness of the gods, then, that you can't remember. I fought your kind. Back when I lived. When the elves and the humans and the dwarves were young. When the gnomes and halflings tried to crush our species. Make us slaves before we could stand on our own feet. Your empire, it was not a nice one. And your
It certainly
creators
wasn't.
were especially cruel.
You have memories of the unborn champions, lady.
She seems to just flatly ignore Magnus. Tell me, creature, do you remember your creation? Would you like to know how it was done, or would you rather live not knowing it?
I would rather know it. I only have memories of my earliest childhood as a human.
The gnomes. They took newborns, infants, sacrificed them and chained their souls to automata like yourself, implanting them with false memories. The perfect child soldiers, malleable, obedient, in powerful created bodies. Deep within your chests is bound the skull of the form you had when you were born. I would know. I crushed many in my time, fighting for our freedom.
I know not how many sins I once did or performed, but I know the stories of my kind, and I know the things I've faced since. And although I can never repay or absolve the sins of the past, I will try and do what I can from now on. And since I was reawakened.
She looks Magnus up and down. You must have been a highly ranked form. Most of your kind weren't as ornate. And your soul burns very brightly.
There is a memory of a battle in the Valley of Gnashing Teeth. I stood by a general along with another bodyguard. I believe I was some kind of bodyguard specialist. Possibly 5th household, maybe Arcadian Legion, I don't know.
Well, for you did help rescue me from slavery to that little slug of a so-called necromancer. Weak as he was, he would have managed to bind me eventually, although he would barely have registered as an apprentice back in my day. Were I you, I would look for records of the 2nd Legion's Praetorian Guard. I believe you may find your birth name there, should you find them. And it would make sense you fought in the... I have never heard of this Valley of Gnashing Teeth, but to the northeast of here, there was a huge mountain range of strongholds, where the gnomes crafted many of your kind, and the 2nd Legion, I believe, defended there. We were on our way to reinforce an assault that had been going on for almost 3 decades. When our own Archmagi called down one of the floating points of light in the sky onto that mountaintop, slaying me and my knights just from the concussion of the explosion. Mages in general I have a specific dislike of.
Um,
Well, it's fitting, I see, that you have teamed up with one of the freed slaves of the gnomes and halflings, the small dragonkin who were kept under their boot heel for so many millennia. He looks over at Iodi.
I switch to Elven and ask, if it isn't too much to ask, what name were you known by? Not your true name, but what should we remember you as?
My true name, it's of no consequence. I am heading back to where I do not know. My gods are dead and have been long dead. Seems I'm going to somebody else's heaven now. I do not know who this god is. Old, one-eyed, with a gold coin in his skull, but he is beckoning. And I do not believe he'll let me slip out of his grasp once I'm there. But I was known as Knight Captain Tahin Shahipur, the Order of the Golden Rose. And there was one last thank you I can give before my time in this part of reality is over. She holds out her hand, and a lance made of a lacquered white wood with golden filigree, tipped with a unicorn horn, materializes. She hands it to Iodi. Do with it as you will. I have no need for my old lance anymore. Just be aware, there was a powerful wizard struck down not far from here very recently who tried to escape through the hairs of the gods. But this worm that called himself a necromancer cackled that they had caught the spirit and the body fleeing. And the 3.1 now has this sub-archon, what's his name?
Ah,
And with that, I bid you adieu. And she disintegrates into motes of golden light.
Does anybody know about this god with a skull and a coin?
Aller.
Aye, it matches the description.
The king of the gods.
Preacher staggers upright as if whole world of weight on his shoulders, very slowly and hard.
Take it easy, my friend. You've had a long shock. So have I. Ugh.
That was not a gentle grave knight. He was a champion, to be true.
That's a weird looking staff you got there, Yodi.
So this chick was like 7'5", right?
Yep.
So this lance is like 8 foot tall or something.
More like 9 feet, yeah.
So I'm like 4 foot tall, holding a 9 foot lance. Okay, all right. Yodi just looks at it and says, "I do not know what I will be doing with this. Someone should take it."
I don't know even I could use that.
What is it, Yodi?
I believe the pointy end goes into the enemy.
It seems more of an arcane weapon.
Aye.
It will take me some time to discover what this is. I do not know where I will put it. I do not believe it will fit in my pockets.
We got a bag for that. Just watch the mice.
Well, if it's a lance, then perhaps Magnus should hold on to it for now.
Aye, I can carry it.
If all else fails, we can use it as our 10-foot pole.
No. Magnus, you may take this.
Thank you, Master Iodi. Oh, for your intervention. And he tosses him a gold coin.
Yeah, Magnus just grabbing onto the weapon, being a Fletcher himself and having made dozens of lances. Very, very quickly realizes this is probably the finest lance he has ever touched or laid eyes on.
Help my Bob. I've never seen the like, he says, with an aura of wonder in his voice.
And while you're talking, Walter and Karin come staggering down. He's looking a lot worse for wear, and she's well, pretty much as beat up as Preacher and Magnus are currently.
Does anybody know where that Frankenstein monster ran off to?
Don't know. I just noticed it left. Tamil, would you like to treat our friends, or shall I?
I'll go ahead and do some work there.
He yelled something about being free before it fled. I'm not sure that we need to worry about it too much for now.
Walter gives Edamir a confused look. Like, how do you know that creature was from House Frankenstein? But if it was, it would be going down to the south to get to its homelands in Friedrichstadt, where the Frankenstein noble family lives.
I just read about it in a book.
Both of them gratefully accept the treatment, but they seem a bit miffed. Once they're no longer bleeding and beating their shit, they're like, "Where were you? We thought you were on our flank, ready to support."
We sent the message that we were going after the Archon.
Never reached us. Who did you send it with?
With the scouts.
Afraid we never got that message. We lost a lot of good men assaulting this place.
We came as soon as we heard that that our message hasn't reached you. We're so sorry.
What Archon are you speaking of? Or is it one of the undead?
The one from Zebes.
Can't remember any orders about hunting Archons from Thebes. Can you, Walter? No, never heard of it.
We have standing orders to take the heads of any officers we encounter, so...
We also assume, since he's this far away, that he must be up to something with the rest of these nefarious folk.
Oh, well. Thank you for the assist. Well, we appreciate you bringing us our freedom. We'll go tend to our dead. They both walk off in the direction of the camp you came from.
I'm gonna yell back, just make sure they stay dead.
Any idea how to destroy this armor so this doesn't happen again?
Well, that's the thing. Apparently it's like a relic and they don't want it destroyed, but nobody knows.
Exactly.
We should wrap it up and bring it back to the priests.
Aye, let's not leave any of it around for someone to stumble upon.
I'm going to put a cast sigil on it and put a little mark on it.
Yeah, the mark stays on it for maybe
A
30
month.
seconds before it withers away.
Well, shoot.
This armor
there any-
seems somewhat resistant to being changed.
Is there any way we can make sure that this armor, that we recognize it if it comes back into circulation?
Just remember the signs on it.
Yeah, this one in particular seems to have. It must have been a very colorful armor at one point. It's got various flowers and butterflies on it, and you can see the remnants, flecks of enamel, showing that it was colored and enameled at some point. But it's obviously been through a lot of punishment since then. You're not entirely certain what killed the wearer, but whatever did it melted most of the right side of the armor, so that it's all of the beautiful engravings on it are just slag right now.
I suggest whatever we find up here go to the dead.
Did anybody check the body of the necromancer?
No.
Zara's been
Yeah,
rummaging through the bodies.
Yeah, you can see Zara carrying like an arm full of various things that are going to need identifying. And a pouch with about 500 gold pieces in it. Did I say pouch? I meant sack. So as you're sitting there, you hear the thundering of hooves as several knights with a livery you haven't seen before. Yeah, green and red, checkered pattern, ride up. And in their vanguard, an elderly man, maybe a human in his 60s. Even inside the armor, you can see that he's getting to be a bit stodgy. But he got the long white sideburns. And, you can see, whips up the front of his helmet. Old, kind of pudgy face. So he looks down at you. Oh, you're the Thorns mercenaries, are you?
Yes, my lord.
Were it up to me, I would have you all hanged for dereliction of duty, but I have been informed by Sir Roland, the young upstart, that you have the defense of nobles now within the province of Nosans, and while I'm certain my champion would eviscerate any of you, I'm not going to waste his time in a judicial duel. However, know that I am Vicomte Jean de Quincy. I am one of the leaders under the Marquis. For going after this unrelated personal enemy of yours, you will be subtracted 2 days of pay.
I'm going to intimidate him.
Please don't.
Stare at him and use my kitsune feat for intimidation.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to see you try to hang us.
He seems scary and is like, gods, apprehend the fox. It threatens me. And something like 30 armored knights are riding down towards you.
Told you it was a bad idea.
One of the guards produces a little cage. He looks down at you and like, well, we can do this the easy way or the hard way.
Choose the hard way, and I jump on Roran, and I run.
Right. Okay then. The knights are going to charge after you.
Oh god.
Okay, so I'm gonna cast web on him then and run.
Right. As you cast web, the Vicomte is like, they are resisting! Kill them! And the rest of the men-at-arms charge.
Oops.
Idiot.
I'm gonna kill him. I am gonna kill him.
Not if I get there first.
Right.
We have no chance of surviving this, you know.
That's why we're gonna run.
Let's see. I need to set up a new map here in case you want to fight this out. Roran would be actually. Why in the world did I remove you all? You were pretty much where you needed to be.
Can you share it again with me? I lost it.
Oh yeah, I'll share it with everybody in a moment. I'm just going to place you out roughly where you would have been after having that chat. Home, 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 home. Right, and let us find. Dum 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 dum. This is what happens when Shoggoth is somewhat. Where's the duplicate button? I've done this before. Is that it? No, now the game is just being. Oh, there we are. Home, 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 home. I'm just gonna have to copy this up a couple of times.
Quinn, while he's doing that, do me a favor, check the non-lethal subduing stuff. We might need it soon.
You can hear Sir Roland screaming and or shout in the background, "Do not kill them! Apprehend them! They still have the judicial standing of nobles."
I'm gonna put my hands on my head, and I'm surrendering. I'm not resisting this.
I do not have the map.
I'll give you all the map in a moment.
Okay.
The issue here is that for some reason they haven't added human NPCs to any tokens or anything. So I gotta actually make some of these real quick, like. Which is a bit of an oopsie, but it is what it is. Doop 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 doo. Scooba doo boop boop ba doo. And I will simply use some other NPCs as placeholders, so that we get this done without too much shenanigans, as they say.
Share map again, please.
Yeah. Hold your horses. I gotta get a lot of these people out here, real quick. Like, now you'll see some familiar names. They are just placeholders for actual enemies, because I can't sit here and make 70 of these things from the ground up.
Shoggoth was not ready for this.
I really should have been. I really should have been, but I wasn't. That's okay. That's on me. We'll get it set up real quick, like no matter what. It's just the work of a moment or two to get set up. Do 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 do. Dum 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 da 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 do 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 do. Right. Hum 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 hum. The work of a small moment, as they say.
On a side note, did I successfully frighten him?
That you did.
That's the problem.
Yeah, well done, Ed.
What's his level?
Little coward called all his guards up.
This is why we don't threaten the nobles.
I didn't threaten.
Yes, you did.
I just said, I'd like to see you try to hang us.
And he's going to prove that he can now.
That's what you think. You're gonna see a cloud of dust and some footprints and find no Iodi there.
Right. Excuse me. What's your token not placing? There we are. Hum 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 hum. Dum 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 dum. That's number 3. Hum 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 hum. Shoggoth is just trying to get things done real quick. Like sometimes you just gotta. What do they call it? Take it on a wing.
Take it in strides.
Take it in stride. That's what you say. Yeah, that's the word. That's dum 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 dum. Whoop doop 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 boop boop doo zoob doop boop boop doo. Hum. Okay, so we will go to initiatives. Let me see if you can see these guys when I share the map, or if I need to make them visible.
You need to make them visible.
Can I see him?
Biscuits. Okay.
I do see a wild Lyrian that is an enemy.
The Vicomte himself is shown by Lyrian. Tulmar, where do you place your web, sir? Oh wait, I'll let you get a better chance of actually placing it where you would want to once everything is visible. Just right now, it's a bit of a mixed bag, isn't it?
I mean, I casted it when he was like, I'm gonna put him in the cage, so wherever the guy with the cage is where the web is at.
Yeah, right. That would be right next to Edamir then.
It's a 10-foot burst. All of those squares are difficult terrain. Every time they try to move, they have to do an athletics or reflex save against my spell DC, or they can't.
So there we are, and we have a web. Let's see, that was. Did you mark or try to move Iodi to the point where you placed it, so I can mark that web properly? So that would be from there, 10 feet, 10 feet, 10 feet. Okay, and doom. So hey, give me my drawing mode. There we are. So web, basically here. Oh man, I'm a master drawer, as you all know. So especially with a mouse.
It's
There's a
beautiful.
web there. Yeah, I know. I'm proud of myself. It's making like a tree and leafing. Right. So first one is Herko, who is gonna bring out his head chopper and go for the closest knight that was trying to cage Edamir. That is 1 hit. 2 hits. A surprising 2 hits. He hacks into the horse the knight is on. Doesn't quite kill it, but he causes some serious damage to it. Right, Preacher.
I look over at Marisol.
I'm going to answer when it's my turn.
You're standing with your hands on your head, I assume?
Yep.
In that case, I'm holding my action until she does anything otherwise.
Very well. Okay, let's see. This is his wizard.
Yeah, I'll put my hands on my head, obviously, but...
I just gotta look up a spell here real quick, like... Nope. Where's the one I'm looking for? What's it called in this edition? All right, we don't have the... We should have that. Why don't we have that? Weird. Okay, well, I can see what it does here anyway. So... Hold... Where we are... No, now we're taking to 9. That is going to be a DC 27 will save for Roran. Well, he succeeds. He is not held by the hold monster spell. Okay. No. The spellcaster next to the Viscount shouts, "The creature resisted! Take it down!" I'm gonna need a DC 25 reflex from Roran as the first round of crossbowmen shoot. So that is gonna be 18 piercing damage. And then another DC 25 reflex from Roran. That is going to be 23 piercing damage. And another reflex from Roran. Also a DC 25.
There we go.
So that's half. That's going to be 7 piercing damage for Roran. Tumult, it's your turn.
Putting my hands on my head with one hand in one sleeve, looking at Marisol and holding my action.
Very well. The Viscount is like, yes, I hear you, Sir Roland. Don't kill them, apprehend them, but you can strike them unconscious if you need to. And let's see. Where the heck are you? There we are. This group of men-at-arms is going to move up 40, 50. So one group of... I'm just going to make them larger to show that these are groups of people, not individuals. Move up and ready to put Tumult and Marisol in manacles. It's Edamir's turn.
All right. I will slap a heal animal. And how high is the cliff over to the west?
That'd be about 15 feet.
I will go over there with Roaring and try to jump it.
Right. Just to make certain we do this correctly. No probable. Let's see, you have stridden 10 feet. You need to go to 10 feet. That is a DC. Let's see, 10 feet. That's going to be a DC 25 athletics. And Roar. Oops. Roaring. You and Roaring get there, but you can't actually get up.
Then I will try again.
If you haven't had a 10-foot stride before you try a high jump athletics check, you automatically fail.
Oh, then I'll move back and try again.
Move back and try
back
again.
10 feet, and then
well,
30.
back 15, which is what you need to do, and then you can give it another try.
You want me to roll again?
Yep, I'm gonna need to see another roll.
Darn, the last one was a pass.
Oh, you did roll your athletics. Yeah, okay. You get up there then. And that's gonna be...
That'll be my turn.
That'll be your turn. See, this individual here, that is gonna be another DC 25. Actually, can he see Edamir from here? He can. But it is a long shot, so it's gonna be a DC 22. No, 23, my bad. DC 23 reflex for Roran this time. That's half damage right there. You're just being showered with crossbow bolts, and that is going to be 6 damage to Roran. And another DC 23. Yep. Half damage again. That is going to be 10 damage to Roran, and it is now Mador's turn.
Just gonna sit down and wait.
All right. Magnus.
Magnus looks around, steps next to Preacher and Eodi, and just grounds his hammer and takes off his helmet, letting his hair drop over his shoulders in a waterfall, and just stands there and waits to see what Marisol's going to do.
All right.
Hold action.
Zara.
Zara's gonna be like, "You're all fools and cowards. However, I don't want to deal with you." And then she pulls out a wand out of her pocket and turns invisible.
Well. And that's how many actions? Just be
2 actions for the invisibility.
Yep.
And then
one
she
move.
uses stealth to go there with foil senses.
Right. Give us a stealth roll. Well, she's pretty certain nobody knows she's there. Right. That's going to be 1.5 move. This individual is charging with his lance. See, he's going to have to go there, actually. And he tries to lance Roarin. And breaks the lance on the ground, dismounting himself in the process. Wonderful. And this group of individuals here, just kind of moving to block. Marisol.
Everybody, please, don't let this hasty idiot fox define what we're doing. We surrender.
All right, give us a diplomacy. Why are you rolling, Magnus?
Sorry, I was rolling assist.
Well, that takes it down to 28. Well, he looks at like, very well. We shall capture the fox soon enough. And the ones that turned invisible, we have ways of tracking that as well. The rest of you, drop your weapons, and you will be given over to the Marquis to determine what he will do with you. And all of the knights currently running around or holding their actions takes us to Eodi.
Surrender? Oh no. And Eodi is going to drain bonded item and dimension door 120 feet as far away from this place as I can.
Very well. Which direction are you planning on going?
I'm going to go east.
East. Very well. So, Eodi dimension doors 120 feet. There are still soldiers about. It's the main force of the army is arriving. We'll let Eodi roll himself a stealth roll to see if he can go unnoticed. Well, you're pretty certain that they think you're a bush.
Well, I'm off the map and I use my last action to walk as far away as I can.
Right, or in this case, sneak, because there's still plenty of soldiers around. So
next turn I can just go invisible anyway, so...
I'm assuming you're not going to just stroll out of the bush.
No.
Right. Everybody else has given up. Herko seems like he is planning on keeping fighting, but quickly gets clubbed down by the plethora of household knights around you. As you're all disarmed and clapped in chains. You can hear Sir Roland arguing with the Vicomte. And the Vicomte, no, I do not think I will listen to you anymore, sir. These so-called elite mercenaries of yours are obviously no more than a band of brigands. Say, half of them have run away already, but they will be found. And they will be hanged as deserters, no matter what you say about it. The rest, we shall see what the Marquis does. And on that note, we're going to end today's session and let our esteemed streamer, Mr. Tulmar, find somebody to raid. So thank you all for joining. Last week's episode will be up on YouTube sometime tomorrow. This week's episode will be up on YouTube sometime during the week, but me and Arowina are moving this week, so I dare not say when, because the moment we end this session, I'm going back to packing. So I will see you all next time. Stay safe, stay healthy, and be well. I do not think we will be playing next Sunday due to the move, but in 2 weeks, we should be back at it. So that would be the 25th of June. We are hopefully set up in the new apartment with RPGs and internet webs and chairs and maybe even a frying shovel. Who knows? For now, however, stay safe, stay healthy, and be well, and we'll let Mr. Tulmar raid someone. Goodbye.
Bye.
Night.